Hello, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I hope you're having a glorious day. I wanted to remind you that tomorrow is the last free day of celebration 2023, so you need to get your orders in right away. If you want to look at the catalog or the items that were added on the flyer, if you go to the link below on my online store, you can go to this section and see all the items that are available. So you want to get that order in as soon as possible. If you already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I suggest you go to them, but if you don't, I'd love to be yours. So I wanted to show you that, and while I'm getting the items out and showing what we're going to be making today, I wanted to remind you to remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see, and ring the little bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. And I think I covered everything. So we are going to be making what's called a twist and pop card today. Now this is not the card we're making, this just is a twist and pop. This was made with Day at the Farm out of the celebration paper, and it opens like this. It closes back down and it opens like that. So I just wanted to show you a different version of it. Now we're going to be using the Dainty Flower paper because this is the last day of celebration. I thought we should use it. And many of you may have looked at this piece of paper and said, oh, what am I going to do with this piece of paper? Well, I'm going to show you one of the things I did with it. So I wanted you to have a chance to look at that. And this is what I did with the paper. And this is the card we're going to reproduce today. Slightly different, but similar. And it opens like that. Left a small area to write here. If you want a bigger area to write, you can add a piece to the back and have more area to write. But that is the pop and twist card. I've also heard referred to as a twist and pop card. I don't know what's right. It's a style of card that's been around for years. So let me show you how we're making that. And I did make a little envelope that just says Celebrate You. So while I'm getting the supplies here, we're going to start with cardstock, because we have to do a little scoring. So, oh, tag fell off. This is a piece of Starry Sky, and this is 11 by 4 1/4, and we're going to score that one together. I'm going to leave the tags on for a minute until we get scoring. Then this piece is 10 by 3 1/2, and then this piece is 8 by 3 1/2, and then we're going to score these together. So let me grab my scoreboard. You can use your trimmer if you want. I decided to use the scoreboard today. So this piece, let me get my measurements so I don't mess up. This one we're going to put on the long side, 11-inch side. We are going to score this at 5 1/2, just like you would a normal card. We'll burnish all those in a few minutes. The 10 by 3 1/2, we're going to put this in them, and we are going to score at 2 1/2, 5, and 7 1/2. And like I said, all the dimensions and all the measurements will be listed below. We'll take care of that one in a few minutes. Now this is the 8 by 3 1/2. And on the short side, we are going to score this at 1 3/4. Okay, now we're done with the scoreboard, but we still need our stylist. I'm going to wait, and we're going to burnish those in just a few minutes. We need a pencil and a ruler. And it's going to be very hard for you to see what I'm marking on this darker paper. But we're getting closest to the left-hand side here, right up to the edge. So I'm right on the edge. And we are going to make a tick mark at 2 1/4 and 5 3/4. Little marks. And then we're going to come up to the top, line it up, and do exactly the same, 2 1/4 and 5 3/4. Okay? If I zoom this in a little bit, you might be able to see this. Move the paper here so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So you can see my tick marks now, I think. Then we're going to take our ruler. A longer ruler would be nice, but I had my longer ruler, my 12-inch ruler out there outside trying to measure the snow. We had a snowstorm yesterday. I am filming this a few days before it comes out. For our pencil down, because we need to score this. Anyway, we ended up with about a foot of snow. And today it is covered in snow. The wind's blowing about 45 miles an hour. You might hear the chimes in the background going off. And it's, with the wind chill, they said it's about -7. So needless to say, I'm staying in the house. So we're going to score this diagonally from the 2 1/4 to 5 3/4 diagonally. And then we're going to do the other side. Yep, when it's snowy and nasty out, it's the best time is just to be in your craft room or your place where you craft and have some fun. So now we've got those score lines in. I'll put my thing back. Now we're going to burnish these. This one, we're going to fold this way. And I'm going to fold it back on itself. And then we're going to leave that right like that for now. These two, this piece here, we're going to fold each of these score lines and burnish them. And I'm going to go back on that one as well. This card needs to be able to move. So that's the panel. This will be the panel that sits inside. And then this piece here, we will burnish. So, before you can assemble, let me move the camera back out now. There. Before we can assemble this, we do need to decorate it. So, I have cut several pieces of DSP. I have got, let's use this one here. This is for my inside piece. Now, when I was cutting this piece measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. You tend to get a little bit from the other one. So you could make a little smaller if you wanted. It didn't bother me having that little bit of greenery up there. I thought it looked rather natural. So that's going to go on the front. But we do need to stamp this. So we want to do that in Orchid Oasis. So let's do that first before we put it on the card. And while I'm stamping that, let's go ahead and stamp the envelope because it's also, not Orchid Oasis, Starry Sky, sorry. Get my colors all mixed up today. Now this one is a photopolymer, so I grabbed the mat to work with. And I want to line this up in the center as best I can. That looks pretty good. So that's for that part. And then we'll go ahead and do Let's Celebrate You, or Celebrate You, down here in the corner for our envelope while we've got this color out. The other color we're going to be using is Memento. And we will do that in a few minutes. So I'll set that off to the side. So this is going to go on the front. And then for our inside mats, they're same size. They are 4 by 5 1/4. I took the large sheets that had, like, I didn't grab one. It's got all the flowers coming up this direction and down this direction with a white space in the center. That's this piece here. And I cut several of them because I wasn't sure what I was going to put on the inside. But when you do this, you need to look at, you put this like this, keep in mind that a section of this is going to be covered up. So if you want more of the purple, then you might want to put that one at the top. But I'm going to lay mine like this. So we're going to have to hook all those pieces in first. And yes, I'm still playing with my bottle of glue that's almost empty. It's been upside down and it's still got a lot of glue. I don't know if it's ever going to die. We'll see. It will die eventually. Make sure your card's going the right direction. So that's the front of our card. And then we'll put these inside mats. This card is one you do need to assemble as you go. Or I shouldn't say assemble, as decorate your pages as you go. Because these all have to be down prior to putting your mechanism in here to make it work. You know, if I get rid of this mat, life might be easier. So that is, oop, I got a little piece I did not get glued down. There we go. Okay, so that's the inside and that's the outside. Now we have to decorate the panels. Like I said, it's so those long skinny pieces, the long skinny pieces that were on that sheet of paper, I went into them and I cut 2 pieces that were 2 by 3 1/4. And I sort of picked out where I wanted my flowers. So we'll need those. There. And then there is also some white panels, 2 of them, that are 2 3/4. They're going to go here once we do some stamping. I left some extras here just in case I needed them. And then you need 2, these are Orchid Oasis, and they are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And I'll show you what we're going to do with those. So we need to do some stamping again. This time we're going to get the Memento out. We're going to set all of those off to the side and stamp these. I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper to put under here. Grab my Memento. And we're using this very large flower. When you have a large stamp, it's easier to turn the stamp upside down and take the ink pad to the stamp. So you can make sure you get it good and covered. And on one of these, I'm going to go clear up to the top. I'm going diagonal on the page here. And I'm giving it a firm press, but not rocking. So we have that. And then I'm going to stamp this to make sure I don't have much excess on there, because we're only going to do a small section of this next one. And I didn't want some darker left over. Sometimes if you don't do the whole piece, you get extra shadowing you don't want. So you should clean it off a little bit. And this one, we're just going to take and do, about that much of the flower. Like I said, it wasn't a lot. And then we're going to color these in. Okay, there's a little splice in this. Hopefully I can get it spliced. We had a little power bump there. So let me zoom this in back to where I was. Yeah, with this wind, that's to be expected. And hopefully I can figure out how to splice these 2 films to videos together, which I've never done before, but we'll find out. So anyhow, I'm going to grab these are my Stampin' Right. Sorry, this is sort of just throw me. And I grabbed Old Olive, Pear Pizzazz, Rich Raspberry, Calypso Coral, Daffodil, Blushing Bride, and Crushed Curry. But you can use any colors you want. And I'm going to do, got the small nib here to do these small little flowers. You could use your blends for these. Little flowers, I like using these. And just you're doing, like I said, I'm not going to do a slow, so Let's see, we've got a few over on this one, so we'll do it at the same time. All right, and let's come in here with the Pear Pizzazz. I'm just getting all the leaves. You know, when I start coloring, I get quiet. Listening to the chimes outside. I don't know if you can hear them, but I like them. They have a very pretty sound. They're very large. I don't move them that much because they are heavy. The chimes are, I don't know, about 3 to 4 feet long. And there's 6 pipes, or 7, and they're all various sizes around, ranging from about a 1/2 inch to 2 inches. One of my uncles made this for us, oh, it's got to be 30 or 40 years ago. So, like I said, it's quite pretty, but sometimes annoying. So we'll do that. So we need some flower colors here. I don't even know if I'm coloring the same colors as I did before, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna make some of these Blushing Bride in here. Blushing Bride. And I think I'm going to make these little darker flowers up here. Rich Razzleberry. I just realized I missed a leaf. We'll get it in a second. I guess I could get the picture up there. I gotta remember when I'm filming, I've gotta move things up. And let's grab that leaf right now while I'm seeing it. That's the other thing when you color, you always see something after. So let's do some Calypso Coral. I want the other end of the Calypso Coral. Make this one closer. I want a nice variety of colors in here. I'll make one of these Calypso Coral. And I'm going to grab my crushed curry and use for the center of this flower. And that one. There's no center on that one. And then we'll use daffodil on the other flowers. Like I said, you can make your flowers any color. You could use your pens. You could use your watercolor crayon or pencils. You could use regular pencil, you know, colored pencils if you want. We just have the watercolor pencils. We don't have regular colored pencils, but I do because I really love to color with pencils. So that's the flowers. Now, we're going to put those on, and they're going to go here and here. Let me move this back out here. So these two, we want to put in here. I wanted to pick up a little more color, but I also, these strips, to cut them out of there and leave this piece long enough, I couldn't get any wider. So we're going to use the Orchid Oasis to widen our piece so it matches. That's something to remember. If you have a little scrap of paper you want to use, and it's just a little too narrow or wide, whatever it happens to be, you could always back it with something else so you could still use it. So I'm going clear to the bottom and up to the top. And then I'm checking here. Nope, they're good. If you happen to have one that was just a little over, you could trim it off. Mine is slightly, but not enough to worry about. And then we're going to put these on the card. So I've got them laid out where I want them, like that. And by spreading these out and keeping them separated, it just sort of, the stamping all sort of blends in. You can tell by the colors I used in the stamping. There you go. This one here. So that is our panels all done up. Okay, now back to our mechanism. We are going to take and fold. We have the two score lines here and here. We're going to fold this one this way. We're going to burnish that, and we're going to fold it back on itself, burnish it the other way, and then we're going to fold the other one. And just remember, you did this not on a scoreboard, so it's not going to be as sharp a score line. So you do have to get it well burnished, and just take your time getting that fold in there. So if you push down on the ends here like that, you're going to get it narrow. See? And then you want to really burnish that arrow, because this is the mechanism that makes your card move. Okay, so then what you need to do, and I'm not worrying about taking those little, no one's going to see the little marks I made in there. We're going to make another mark on this card with a pencil, if I can find my pencil and my ruler. We're going to come in here at the fold line, just below the fold line, and we are going to mark that at half. So half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8, which is right there. We're just putting a little mark. No one's going to see it. You're going to cover it up in just a second. So what you're going to be doing is taking this arrow and you're going to put it right in here. I'm going to zoom this in really for a second. So there's a little tick mark. You want to put this in so you're just below that score line here. You see the score line where it folds? You don't want to be touching it, just a smidge below it. And then, doesn't matter which side. You can use tear and tape. You could use Seal Plus. I would not recommend Seal or glue. You want something that's nice and sturdy, and you put glue. Hang on. Gonna move that back out. There. You put glue on this piece. Flip it over and line that up and square it up on both sides. Glue gives you a bit of wiggle room, so make sure you're sort of square. Okay, starts to here. Then you're going to come in and put glue on this side here. And the reason I don't recommend the real seal alone, it's really not that secure, and this needs to be able to move. Now we have to hold this for a second. So while we're doing that, I'm going to have a quick drink. Okay, so there's our mechanism. You see it opening there. Okay, now we're going to open this up like that. And then we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to fold these two pieces in like this. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to line this up, and it won't go totally flat. So you do have to, you want about this much here. You know, you want to make sure they're about the same. You could actually measure them. We'll see how close we are. That's about 3/8 and about 3/8. That's pretty good. So you can see the square here. You only want glue or tear and tape or seal plus in this quadrant here. Okay? And then you're going to just take this down, make sure the top is lined up, and push that down onto the glue. Okay? Make sure it started to here before you let it go. Then you're going to come over to this side, opposite corner, down here. And put this one in like that. And I scooted it up a little bit because I had a little, no. Okay, make sure that is good. I'm going to sort of gently push it in this way. It's automatically, as I push these two in, it's automatically going to try to fold in. That's what we want. So you need to do this gently and sort of use your fingers to guide it in. Then what I like to do is just sort of take your bone folder and run across this a little bit, or to your hand. Give a little press. Help teach everybody where they're going to go. Now, sometimes you have to train your card a little bit. If it's a little stiff or won't close, you may have to train it. So now when we open it, it's going to open. I tell you to have to train it. Sometimes they work. And closing is a different one. But I would recommend that you open and close your card several times to make sure everybody's working before you give it to somebody. So it's working. And so to finish off this card, I wanted something rather simple. So I went with basic rhinestones. And I'm going to go with the medium-sized ones, I think, or a variation. I'm going to put one there. I'm going to take a big one, I guess. I'm going to put one over here. And another medium one down here. Just a couple rhinestones. It is for somebody's special birthday. So that is our card for today, including my electrical issue. And hopefully you'll see this video like this. If not, I'll have to retape it if I can't figure out how to hook two videos together. So, but this is our pop and twist card. So thank you for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, celebration ends tomorrow, February 28th, 2023. And I will see you next time. Thank you.